Thanks for stopping by. I thought I'd jump on in the afternoon and give you a little update. Fix myself up here a little bit. Let's do the tip first. As usual, we have the tip right up front. I hate when I see videos and they say, well, if you hang around to the end, I'll give you a great tip. No, I'm going to give you a tip right here at the beginning. I always like to do that, give you a quick tip. So, what I want to talk about today is something that is obvious to all new actors, actresses, people in any kind of entertainment business, singers, songwriters, dancers. We all need what I call a survival job while you're pursuing your dream career in the entertainment business. So what I'm about to say is controversial, 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 controversial. And a lot of people don't like to hear it when I tell them it, but when you take or look for a survival job that pays the bills, keeps you able to pursue your career by going to classes, maybe taking lessons, training, keeping yourself physically fit, going to the gym, helps with all the life essentials. Having your car, having money for transportation, money for travel, a little bit of money stocked away for saving. You're going to need an apartment. Even if you're living it with a roommate, you're going to have to pay your share of the rent. So you're going to need a survival job. So I always tell people, yes, I agree. I know. I've done it myself. When I first started out, you're going to need some type of job that pays the bills while you go on auditions, while you take classes, while you look for an agent, while you look for a manager, while you wait for the phone to ring, or nowadays for the email to come that tells you got your first paying job. Find a job. This is the tip. Find a job that doesn't kill your soul. And what I mean by that, find a job that doesn't beat you down, where there are a lot of people there who are negative, who hate their job, who hate working for the company. The company treats you bad. They overwork you. They won't let you take any time off. And this is going to be hard to find, but you as someone in entertainment business, I'm going to focus in on acting because that's what I know best. You as someone, actor or actress, you need a job with flexibility. Now that's hard to find, especially when you're in some place like New York, or you're in LA, or you're in Atlanta, where they know they are dealing with a lot of actors and actresses, but the employer wants someone that's completely dedicated to his or her job. Now, I understand that. I understand that because I've employed people in the past. And when you employ people, you want them to put your job first. Now, you can still do that and have flexibility. It's not impossible. I had a job recently, about a little over 2 years ago. I had moved to Atlanta, and I was in Atlanta for 2 years. And the reason I moved to Atlanta, because I wanted to try my hand at the acting work that was available there that wasn't available here in California. We here in California have been losing acting jobs to all different states, even a lot going overseas, but mostly to different states in the United States. And Atlanta was one of them. So I wanted to go to Atlanta. I went to Atlanta for 2 years. Lucky enough, I was able to get one of the top agents picked me up and worked with me. They were one of the best agents I ever had. And they picked me up and they worked with me. Got me out on literally hundreds of auditions. I ended up booking 5 union jobs while I was there for that 2 years. Not such an impressive number, but that's how it turned out. But I went on so many auditions, I couldn't believe it. More auditions than I had went to in my career, honestly, to tell you the truth. But I was able to find a survival job with my video production background. And I was the audio video content manager for the county where I was living. And it was a great job. I liked the people. I was able, and the biggest deal, which I've never been able to do here in California, I was able to tell the employer that I was an actor. I know that sounds crazy. And I was able to tell them I'm not a famous actor. I'm a working character actor. And if I get auditions, I want to be able to go on those auditions. And they were happy about it. I couldn't believe it. It was a surprise. That will never happen here in California, New York, it most likely won't happen in any big city where you get a job that has some responsibility. I was a manager, and you have, and they allow you to have the flexibility to go on auditions. So I was really blessed by that position. Stayed there for 2 years. Eventually, ultimately, had to leave because I live here in California with my family, so I had to come back to California. But that was a great position to be in. And the reason I'm talking about it again is the tip is to find a survival job that doesn't kill you, that doesn't try to take over your life. Because a lot of survival jobs will try to take over your lives. That's one of the reasons they give you these non-standard schedules. Like a lot of, when you're just out of when you're in high school and maybe you take a fast food job and they give you these weird, wacky schedules. You work 3 hours this day, you work 4 hours this day, you're off on this day, you're back on, and each week your schedule is different. The reason they do that is so they can control your life. You don't want one of those jobs. You want a job that has some type of schedule that is set. You have a regular working schedule. I don't care what shift it is. It could be the day, evening, or swing. You want some type of job that has a steady schedule so that you can continue to pursue the reason you're working at that job. You're not working at Burger King because you want to work your way up and become the king's assistant. You're not working at Jack in the Box because you want to work your way up and become Jack's manager. You're doing this job to pay your bills while you pursue your real career. So you have to keep that in mind. You also, now this is also hard too, you also have to be willing to leave that job if they won't give you time off to do an acting job, to do a music gig, to do a dancing gig, whatever your career, whatever your entertainment related career is. Now again, this is specifically going towards new people in the entertainment business who don't have a lot of responsibilities. You don't have a mortgage, you don't have a wife and 3 kids, you don't have, you're not supporting your elderly grandparents and your elderly parents. These are for young people who are pursuing a career in the arts and you don't have all those responsibilities. You probably don't even have a wife. And I always tell actors and actresses, while you're making this climb in this business, there's no reason to get married. Not that I'm against marriage. I'm very for marriage and having family and traditional values. But when you're in this business and you're trying to climb that ladder, you are making a sacrifice, and you don't want to put that sacrifice on other people, your husband, your wife, your kids. But I'm not saying you can't do it if you have kids. You just need to work that into it somehow, into the equation. But you have to be willing to give up this little survival job when an opportunity comes that you have to take it. Now, in the entertainment business, those opportunities aren't long term. You're not going to get a movie that's going to last you for 4 years. You're not going to get, most likely you're not going to get a singing gig that is a residency in Las Vegas. It's going to last for 4 or 5 years. You need a survival job, but you have to be willing to move and go when you have to. I know a lot of you out there probably saying, oh yeah, that's easier said than done. I got bills, If you're serious about this entertainment business and you're serious about this career, it's going to take you having the ability to be flexible. And a lot of jobs don't want to give you that flexibility. They're thinking of their bottom line. They don't care about what your dreams and aspirations are. They're looking for employees that are going to be around for the long haul. So, now we have something that we didn't have years ago when I was first coming up. You have those, what they call gig jobs, where you may do driving around and Uber or Lyft, or, you might do, DoorDash. There's a bunch of little gig jobs that you can do that you set your own schedule. So that's something that you have to consider. You have to consider that when you're pursuing a career that demands you jump when they say jump. If you get an acting job and they want you to go on an audition and you're supposed to be at work at that time, but you have to go in person, say for instance a callback, and the manager says, no, we need you, you got to be here. If you're not here, then you're going to get fired. And when I was young, I was in those situations. And I always did what was hard, quit, and looked for another job later when I finished the acting job. It's a rough life. It's not easy. It's not easy. So you have to decide, do I want to go through all these hurdles? Do I want to do this struggle? Am I up for the struggle? Am I up for the battle? Am I up for the hardships and quitting jobs and looking for another job and being broke? That's part of this business. So think clearly. Think clearly. You know, you as an actor or actress, you're choosing this job. You're choosing this career. You're choosing this struggle. A job where other people, your success at the very beginning, your success is in the hands of other people. And then long after you start being successful, your success to some degree is in the hands of other people. The only actors or actresses or people in the entertainment business are the 1% who completely take control of their career and they don't have to, you know, convince people every day that they're the right person for the role and they should be doing this concert. Those are the fair. Those are the rare. Those are the rare. And you're shooting for that. Good. You're shooting for the top. But everybody's not going to get to the top. Everybody's not going to make it to the top of the hill. Everybody can't make it to the top of the hill. That's why the top of the hill is special. That's why the 1% are special. That's why the A-listers are A-listers. You have to accept that also. As you open your eyes and say, do I want to have this struggle? Do I have what it takes to go for the long haul? Because most people struggle in this business. In any creative endeavor, in any creative world, you only really hear about the people who break out and become successful. You see them on shows, you see them on television, you see them in concerts, you know, you listen to their music. That's the very few. Do you want to do it? Do you have what it takes? Do you want to put yourself through that? But you need to realize that you're going to need a survival job. You're going to need a survival career to pay your bills. You're going to need some way to make income while you pursue your dream. So that's just one little bit of tip of advice that I give new actors whenever I talk to them. I want them to have their eyes open. Actors, actresses, I want them to have their eyes open. Now, some of them that I talk to will book work right away. A nephew of mine, I referred him to the New York workshop school for actors. And he went there, he did what he had to do. He borrowed money from his family and relatives and paid the tuition and went through the program. And as soon as he got out of the program, he did a couple of plays, met a manager, and started getting union work and built his acting career. That's rare. That's very rare. That's like hitting the lottery. That's rare. So you can't count on that. You can't count on that. Most people who go through programs, professional, high quality programs, still struggle, still have to have a survival job until they book a substantial role or something that puts them on the radar of casting people. So realize what you're getting into. Realize that you might be in for a long struggle. You might be in for a long struggle. Do you want to do that? Are you in the position to do that? Are you already married and you have 3 kids that need to eat? And you have a wife and you have bills. Maybe you bought a house. So realize there are tough decisions that have to be made. So that's why basically this is geared towards young people. No one said this to me when I was young, when I was deciding I wanted to get into the acting entertainment business. There was no YouTube. There was no place where you could go to get free information, get free advice. You know, I had a couple of people in the business that one of them told me don't go into the entertainment business when I was in college. He said, it's too tough. You don't want to do it. Do something secure. But I didn't listen. I went into the entertainment business and I started making movies, and here I am 35, 40 years later. I'm a character actor. I have a video production company. I edit videos for clients. I have a pretty good life. I'm not rich, by no means, but I do what I want. I work when I want. Like right now, I'm sitting here with you in the afternoon doing a vertical live on YouTube because I have that flexibility. I worked and I struggled a long time to get to the point where, you know, I still have my flexibility. I'm still going on auditions. I just booked a job last week. I'll be doing a commercial. Supposedly, I'm supposed to get a call sometime today for fitting or wardrobe, and, you know, for a union commercial. So it's a struggle, and it's a continuing struggle. Some people get to the point where, they don't have to audition anymore. They just send in a reel, or they just send a link to their past work, or people who have casting have seen them in projects and like that. So there's all different levels in this business, but the bottom line is, at the beginning, you need a survival job. You need a way to pay your bills. You need a way to work. You need a way to take care of yourself, to maintain yourself, so that you are in tip-top for the opportunities that may come. You need to train, continue to train, like I always say. Even if you go to a good school and you have this fancy degree, and it's down to your talent. It's down to your talent and your ability to continue to move forward and work towards your goal. So realize you're going to need those jobs, but you're going to need a job that's flexible, that doesn't beat you down, that doesn't kill you. You don't let the job take you over. One reason that I talk about this a lot to new people is that I've met a lot of new people in my life, and they are taken over by their survival job. They turn auditions down. They flake out on auditions. They say they're going to go, but then they don't show up. They don't turn in self-tapes because they have to go to work. They don't do any volunteer projects because they have to work. So there are choices to be made. And you need to make those choices with your eyes open. That's what I always tell people. But be aware, there are a lot of sacrifices that have to be made to pursue a career like this. So that's my tip for the day. Find a job that's a survival job that gives you some type of flexibility, that allows you time to do what you're striving towards. Not just get in there and you're working for them and they control you, they control your schedule. No, you can't go to that audition because you need to be here. We need someone to be on the cash register in the front. Come on. Open your eyes and make those hard decisions. You might need to look for another job. Might be time to find another survival job. Might be a time to start driving Lyft or Uber if you have a car, so that you can take off and work when you need to, but you don't have to work when you have something else to do that's toward your goal or your ambition. That's something that didn't exist 30 years ago. So that's my tip for today. What I'm going to talk a little bit about, in closing, just talking a little bit about, I'm editing. I just shot 2 episodes, videos that are going to go on the channel here. They'll be there. Both about acting, both giving more information to new actors. Here on the channel, I talk about acting, directing, and editing, and I'm building up a stock of content. I just made it past about a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago now. I surpassed my 1,000 subscribers, and now I'm working on my watch hours. And what I ask you to do is follow the link to my channel below and look at some of my playlists. Turn it on and play it in the background and listen to a few if you want. Every little bit helps. I'm trying to build up my watch hours, and watch hours are a struggle. So I need your help again, just like you helped me get my subscribers. And I thank all of you who subscribed. Share some of my playlists. Go to my channel, find some of my playlists with a number of videos in it. Put it up on your Facebook. Do me a favor. Yes, I appreciate that. I know a lot of you have been sharing my content, and I do appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Also, if any of you haven't noticed, probably seen some random episodes from my vertical series. My first vertical series made exclusively here for YouTube, called Tammy, the Actress and Writer. Tammy, the Actress and Writer. Follow the link below and you'll find that playlist. I'm making it, if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know I support and I try to suppress the fear that people have against artificial intelligence video. Now, we've seen a lot of it where people are what they call slop, which is true. It's just garbage, junk, slop, AI slop. But what I'm doing, I've created my very first series here for YouTube using artificially generated video. And I'm using a program called Sora 2. And I'm really enjoying it. I have a paid version. And I'm creating content for my series. Now, each episode is only somewhere around 16 to 20 seconds. 16 to 20 seconds per episode, because that's a limit of the software. And I've decided, I started working with it and I'm really enjoying it. I like how it looks. Still have the frustration of artificial intelligence not doing exactly what I want it to do, not giving me consistent characters. What else is it doing wrong? Changing when I try to make a little fix prompt to fix something that wasn't correct, then it changes something else. So it's very frustrating, but I think I personally I had a hard time yesterday. I was working on something, to be honest, and it kept giving me the wrong thing, wrong. And I'm using videos, I'm paying for their mistakes of artificial intelligence. And I started doing something called timeline prompting. Now you can find that on my channel too. I've done a couple of videos on timeline prompting for artificial intelligence. And it's a way to help you get videos that are more geared towards what you want, more detailed. It's kind of like directing on a timeline. So yeah, check that out, timeline prompting. But it's frustrating, it's still frustrating, but I'm getting such good content and you guys are watching it. Again, they're all here in the vertical feed. They're vertical shorts. The whole series is made up of vertical shorts. And I have over 50 episodes. So go take a look at it. It's on my channel there, Tammy, the actress, writer. And I'm enjoying doing it and creating it. I did a couple of episodes last night, and I put those up late last night. So they're there on the channel. 2 new episodes are there. And I'll be putting up 2 episodes, probably per week, 2 or 3 episodes, depending upon how the ideas go and how my other work comes along. I have a potential new client coming up as far as the editing client. And that's interesting for me as far as my business goes. Always looking for new editing clients. And any business owner will tell you the truth. We're always looking for new clients, especially on this side where I am on the editing and computer related content, independent business person. I do websites also. I do large websites though. For like one of my clients is a city in Georgia, and I'm the project manager for the website. All remote stuff, but all computer related stuff, all underneath my business. And that's something I started years ago. So the beauty of that for me, as I mentioned the tip, I started my own business so that I would have flexibility. And that was something that gave me an edge. So I had the ability to come and go as I pleased because I ran my own business. But I also had the downside of your own business where you're continually looking for clients. Sometimes you've got tons of clients, more than you can handle by yourself, and you have to bring in help. And then sometimes you don't have any clients and you start to look for other work, survival jobs. So that's the business of an entrepreneur. Unless, again, you're in some kind of entrepreneurial situation where you're very, very successful. And that's a possibility also. And then you can still do your acting because even though you're very successful, you have employees that can fill in when you're not there. So that's a plus of being a business owner and pursuing some type of creative career because you still have the needs taken care of to survive while you do low-paying gigs or low-paying shoots or independent films or local music events. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'm getting ready to hit that 25-minute mark. I try to keep my vertical shorts somewhere between 20, 25 minutes. And I will see you in the next one, probably tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by.